在经过了33年的空窗期之后，美国的职业棒球又再度回到了美国的首府华盛顿。而纽约自从1971年之后，洋基队也再次造访华盛顿，马上要进行的就是纽约的洋基队跟华盛顿的国民队3连战的最后一场比赛。 各位观众，大家好，欢迎您收看由公共电视为您所制作播出的美国职棒大联盟的热赛，我是袁定文。今天这场比赛将是洋基跟华盛顿的国民队在本周末3连战的最后一场比赛，也是王建民在今年球季第16度的上场投球，也是第15度的担任先发。当然，王建民最近的状况不错，最近又是一个3连胜。我们知道他今年已经曾经有过一次3连胜，那去年也有过一次3连胜。那今天这场比赛，如果他能够再度获胜的话，将可以创下他职棒生涯第一次的4连胜，也是他第3度挑战4连胜。看看他今天能不能打败国民队，就可以挑战成为他职棒生涯的第一次的4连胜。那我们先来看一下两个球队在今年分别在2个联盟，分别是美国联盟东区跟国家联盟东区他们的战绩如何？我们从洋基队先看起。 洋基队在昨天的比赛是输给了国民队，曾经一度是7分的领先，但没想到竟然被国民队逆转，而国民队的获胜也使得国民队终止了他最近的一个5连败的一个战绩，所以洋基被红袜队追上，红袜最近是个2连胜的战绩，现在两队是肩并肩，都是38胜28败是并列第一名。那蓝鸟队呢，最近战绩是2连败所以他现在是排在第3名，落后给 红袜跟洋基有2场球的一个差距，那精英跟魔鬼鱼队是落后的比较多，分别是第4跟第5名。那至于位在国家联盟东区的华盛顿的国民队，昨天赢球终止了最近5连败之后，他现在竟然跃升到了这一区的第3名了。不过这一区的纽约大都会队实在太强了，他的战绩42胜25败，领先第2名的费城人队有9场半，是所有2个联盟6个区当中第1名跟第2名差距最大的一个区。 而且费城人队最近是6连败。那至于亚特兰大勇士队，以往在这一区是连续13年拿下本区的冠军。那今年想要连续14年争霸，看样子状况是不太妙。因为亚特兰大勇士队最近也是6连败，反倒是佛罗里达的马林队，这将是王建民是下一场比赛的对手。马林队最近倒是7连胜，有一点点后市看涨的味道。这就是国家联盟东区国民队所属的这个区的排名的一个状况。好，看完了2区的一个 战绩之后，我们来看一下王建民最近刚刚提到了4场比赛的初赛，他拿下了3连胜，而且还有一次救援成功。他前一场比赛面对印第安人队投得非常出色，可说是他今年球季也投得最好的一场比赛，7又1/3局，只被打5支安打，没有失掉任何的分数，就是1比0打败了印第安队，拿下了他今年的第7胜。他现在只差1胜就可以追上他去年全季所拿下的8胜的一个战绩。那现阶段总胜负呢是7胜2败1次救援成功，自责分率也因为前一场比赛的没有掉分，现在降到了4.15，这是个非常优异的一个成绩表现。我们再来看一下王建民，他对左打跟右打我们都是持续关注，因为球季一开始的时候，王建民对左打者的打击率是偏高，但现阶段你看他对左打的平均打击率只有2.65%，已经低于对右打者的打击率了，右打者的打击率反倒是2.83%，那对左打的上垒率 跟对右打的上垒率，虽然对左打上垒率稍微高一点，但是已经差不了太多。同样在长打率方面也是如此左打者的长打率稍高，但是两者相差并不太大。所以可见的王建民跟去年一样，都是先上大联盟的时候对左打者比较有问题，但是慢慢改善之后，现在对左打跟对右打几乎是不相上下的一个局面。那王建民今天这场比赛也是首度碰上国民队，那国民队派出来的先发投手左投手 O'Connell 是今年球季才上到大联盟，他也是第一次碰到洋基队，所以两者之间呢都是非常的陌生。好，我们现在就到这个国民队的主球场，也就是 JFK 这个 Stadium 来看这场比赛。
And the Washington Nationals have taken the field. Mike O'Connor taking his warm-ups. And why don't we take a look now at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented, as always, by our good friends at Rico. Johnny Damon in center field leads off. Melky Cabrera in a little bit of a slump. He's the left fielder who'll bat second. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, looks like he settled into the number 3 slot. Jason Giambi at first cleans up. Alex Rodriguez at third base will bat 5th. Batting 6th and catching Jorge Posada. Robinson Cano carries a 15-game hitting streak into this contest, 452 during the streak. He'll bat 7th. Batting 8th, he had a big night on Friday. Bernie Williams will be in right field. And Chien-Ming Wang will pitch. He'll bat 9th.
25-year-old left-hander Mike O'Connor takes the mound. The Yankees have been 14-5 against left-handed starters this year. That's what O'Connor's done on the season. Only 42 hits in 56 innings. That's pretty good. A few too many walks at 26, 39 strikeouts. Let's take a look at the Land Rover pitchers scouting report. Right-handed batters are hitting just 196. He's got a good changeup, excellent curveball. He went to nearby George Washington University, and when he went to high school in Baltimore, he went to Mount St. Joseph's. But the player who got the most attention there was his teammate Mark Teixeira of the Texas Rangers.
And O'Connor deals, and there's a strike. So we are underway on Father's Day.
First pitch at 1:06 p.m. 1:06. Game time temperature.
Damon 5 for 11 in the first 2 games of this series, and he had a great game yesterday. 4 for 6 with 5 RBIs. Yankees baseball is presented in high definition where available. It's brought to you by Sony Bravia. Swing and a miss in the dirt. And Robert Fick will make the throw to first, so there's 1 away. Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward.
Well, you saw right away a look at Mike O'Connor's curveball. That's probably his best pitch. And he's got a decent changeup. And one reason why right-handers only hit 196, he uses a fastball and changeup away.
Pitch to Melky Cabrera's outside, 1-0. Cabrera 1 for 10 in the first 2 games of this series, and he is 4 for his last 23, 6 for 37. So if you wonder, maybe the league might be catching up with him just a bit.
You know, and sometimes young players in particular, when they start to slide a little bit, they put a little bit more pressure on themselves, and it takes them a little longer to fight their way out of slumps. You know, all of a sudden they start swinging at pitches might be a little out of the strike zone, and although Melky has a decent eye at the plate, lately he's been hacking at some pitches that are not all that close to the zone.
O'Connor works quickly, works from the extreme third base side of the rubber, and the 2-1. High fly ball, deep center. Going back is Bird. Plenty of room out there, though. 2 outs.
Let's take a look at the Nationals on defense, and you just saw Marlon Byrd at center field. He is flanked by Alfonso Soriano in left and Jose Guillen in right. Zimmerman, Harris, Vidro, and Ward in the infield. First start at first base this season for Darrell Ward, and he's in the lineup because he can hit. Robert Fick is doing the catching, and Mike O'Connor on the mound. Ward hit one in the upper deck here yesterday in right field.
Here's Derek Jeter. As you can see, off to a great start. Served down the right field line, but that will slice foul into the seats. The umpires today, Lance Barksdale is behind the plate. Dan Iasonia at first, Bob Davidson, the crew chief, is at second, and Dale Scott over at third. Right back up the middle of base hit, just past the glove of O'Connor into center field. So a 2-out single for Jeter.
Yeah, throughout this series, Derek has been locked in on the center field hits. On Friday night, he had a single through the middle. He also had a shot in which he hit into a double play, but that was a rocket through the middle. And interleague hits, nobody has had more than Derek Jeter. 209, sitting on top of Erstad, Damon, Anderson, and Pudge Rodriguez. I mean, all these guys are good hitters. All of them. They can hit anywhere, anytime.
Here's Giambi. And there's a strike.
Even from the stretch, I'm watching O'Connor's motion as Giambi's at the plate here. And that's what Jason is doing so far this year. He's got 5 home runs in June. That leads the Yankees. O'Connor kind of rears back falls over backwards, and then it makes it hard to pick the ball up. Even from the stretch, he does it. Watch him lean back and then deliver.
It almost seems like an arm injury waiting to happen.
Now, I'm trying to remember, there was a pitcher who threw it, Kevin Apier. Remember Kevin Apier, and he had a lot of arm problems. Kevin Apier, a right-hander with the Kansas City Royals primarily, but he would rear back and pitch for the Mets a little while.
Breaking ball. Strangely, Kevin Apier suffered his worst injury falling off a rocking chair on his porch. Fell right on his shoulder.
I bet he was going backwards, though.
That's right. Now, you never fall off a rocking chair going forward.
You can. Jeter has 13 steals and 15 attempts. Against O'Connor, base stealers have been 7 for 7. So sometimes you pick the right pitch on a left-hander, you go on first movement. It takes him a long time to get rid of the ball when he leans back, and you can pick up a stolen base.
Count 2-2. O'Connor was in spring training and he was in A-ball. He was ticketed for A-ball. And Jim Bowden, the GM, actually watched him pitch in a low minor league game in spring training and said, I want him in Double-A, and then I want him moved up to Triple-A quickly. And here he is, so on the fast track. And he throws that one past Darrell Ward, and Jeter will go to second. Now, you know what? The Nationals caught a break, because if that ball doesn't bounce into the stands, he goes to third.
Yeah, Jeter can make third. There's a lot of foul territory here, almost as much as McAfee Coliseum in Oakland. And you saw him lean back and was out of control with the throw to first. Ward had no chance to come up with that one. I think the person over there had the best chance to catch that was Tony Pena, the Yankee first base coach. There's a look at the foul territory that I had mentioned. And quite a few foul pop-ups. This is like one of those stadiums back in the 70s, like the Vet or Three Rivers in Pittsburgh, a circular stadium, multi-purpose. Years gone by, the Redskins played in here with the Senators at the time. Of course, the Redskins now have their own field down their way here.
The 2-2. Driven down the right field line. Fair ball, it's trouble. It's a foul ball. So Giambi spanked it. Of his last 11 hits, 9 of them have been for extra bases. So he's doing some damage.
As the pitch was being delivered, Derek Jeter took off at third base. The third baseman, Ryan Zimmerman, is right next to Derek. So with 2 outs, they don't care if Derek makes it to third. Here's Zimmerman, the third. There's nobody at third base. There he goes. Derek just took off. He's already at third. He stole it.
I don't know why O'Connor stepped off. Just deliver the pitch. So a stolen base for Jeter.
That's probably the easiest stolen base maybe in the history of baseball.
Two.
There's nobody at third, so Derek can coast over there unless they want to throw the ball to Larry Boa.
And that's a significant stolen base because you score on a wild pitch and you definitely score on a single. You know, otherwise you might not score on a single. You never know. Score on an error. Ground ball in the infield. Swing and a miss. Giambi goes down on a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate, and that's going to do it for the Yankees in the first. No runs a hit, 1 error, 1 man left. Yankees do not score on the top of the first. Yankees nothing, and the Nationals coming to bat. Well, the Yankees don't score in the top of the first inning. Now they take the field, and Chien-Ming Wang's taking his warm-ups. And we're taking a look at the Washington Nationals starting lineup presented by Rico. Alfonso Soriano, the left fielder, is going to lead off, and he has great numbers against the Yankees. Think he holds a grudge? Jose Vidro, the second baseman, will bat second. Jose Guillen, the right fielder, is going to hit third. Darrell Ward's at first base, cleaning up. Batting fifth and playing third base, the rookie Ryan Zimmerman. Robert Fick will catch, he'll bat sixth. Batting seventh and playing shortstop Brendan Harris. Marlon Byrd in center field is going to hit eighth, and Michael O'Connor will pitch. He'll bat ninth.
26-year-old right-hander Chien-Ming Wang gets his start for the Yankees. He's been in 15 games. He actually picked up a save during a series in Baltimore, I believe. His record is 7-2. Very good. More than a hit per inning. Only 4 home runs allowed. 24 walks, 32 strikeouts. Let's take a look at the Land Rover pitcher scouting report. Fun in the sun. He has never lost a day game in his career. 6-0 in a day. 4-1 following Yankee losses this year. But his road ERA has done much better pitching at Yankee Stadium this season.
Here's Soriano. 0-1. When Soriano got dealt from the Rangers to the Nationals, people predicted doom and gloom for his home run total because this is such a big ballpark. It's where home runs go to die. But that has not been the case with Soriano, as he grounds one up the middle for a base hit. Kenny, here in D.C., Soriano hits a home run once every 10.1 at bats. It's unfathomable.
Yeah, he's got home run power. He can hit him out of anywhere. And the fact is that long distances don't bother him. Talking to the hitting coach Mitchell Page of the Nationals on Friday before Friday's game, he said Soriano gets the best extension of any hitter he's ever seen. He gets full extension on his arms, gets the bat through. Plus, he said he uses bats like they used to use back in the day, 35, 36 ounce bats. So when he makes even decent contact, the ball's going to go.
You know, we were talking with Paul O'Neill during the Indian series, and Soriano's actually using the Paul O'Neill bat, which is one of the heavier bats that you can use. And O'Neill said usually you use those bats when you're not a home run hitter, if you want to be able to drive the ball to the opposite way. But Soriano is a home run hitter and is wielding this club. He's got such strong wrists. Let's see if he goes. Soriano is the only player in the major leagues to have at least 15 home runs and 15 stolen bases.
So he's well on his way to yet another 30-30 season, and no player in Washington baseball history has ever been 30-30. That's 30 home runs and 30 steals in a season. So they might be looking at a first and maybe a one and only, because he can be a free agent at the end of the year.
Soriano is also the owner, Kenny, of a rare triple-double. He has double figures in homers, double figures in stolen bases, and double figures in outfield assists. He's got 10 assists from the outfield.
When he goes back out on defense, I might show you a reason why he has a lot of assists. Plus the fact that he's new to playing the outfield, and a lot of people might be testing his arm or whatever, and he kind of throws like an infielder would. He kind of throws three-quarter, not really over the top. But when he gets back out there on defense, I'll give you another reason why he might have so many assists, particularly here.
Vidro fouls it back. Vidro in the number 2 hole, and he likes hitting there. 359 hitter batting second, and a 246 hitter batting third. And it's strange. Some people will say it doesn't matter where you hit in the lineup, but there's a clear delineation that he's a much better hitter at 2 than 3. So maybe he thinks differently and approaches it differently at 3. Chop to second base. This should be 2. There's 1, and there's 2.
You know, one thing we've seen in the games here, there have been some erratic hops in the infield, and this last one was handled by Robinson Cano. It was not an easy hop. It got into his body, but somehow he came up with it, made a nice flip to Jeter, and turned it over. You saw in the initial game of the series, there's a very erratic hop that Cano handled on a ground ball, and that's nicely turned. 4-6-3. That's the pitcher's best friend, and that is Chien-Ming Wang at his best. He's among the pitchers in baseball has top double plays, ground ball double plays behind him, because he gets so many grounders and gets himself out of trouble.
Pitch the Guillen is outside.
Here's that bad hop we were talking about Friday night. Watch this ball take a left turn. Wow. And somehow he had quick enough hands to make the play.
Count 1-1.
Now, we've seen Cano make some errors that, you know, maybe lack of concentration, but his hands are as good as anybody. He's been very impressive. The people on the national side of the field are very impressed with him. Just about everywhere he goes. He's leading in the All-Star voting, isn't he? Yeah.
And that's why any trade discussions with the Yankees seem like they start and then end with Robinson Cano. Every other team trying to hold the Yankees up brings up Robinson Cano, but why would you do that and create another hole while you're patching up another hole? That one's blooped into left field. It's a base hit. So Jose Guillen with a single, and the double play looms large.
Chien-Ming Wang made a good pitch on Guillen. That ball was not hit particularly hard, but Guillen has some strength, and although the ball jammed him, he's able to get it over the shortstop, Derek Jeter. Look at that ball just run in there, just attack the handle of the bat. And somehow he fights it off and gets it over Jeter's head, but I'm surprised that bat's not all over the infield, but it's a base hit. You know, the bats shatter nowadays.
They take all the moisture out of the bats.
It's all in the air today, not in the bats.
Here's Darryl Ward, and there's a strike.
You know, Frank Robinson, before the game in his press conference, was talking about Darryl Ward and why he's in the lineup. He says he has to get him in there every so often to keep him sharp, but he says when he puts him in there, he seems to be able to hit. Now, yesterday he hit a home run up in the 469 section in right field.
Tries to pull an outside pitch and a slow roller to Cano. And he'll make the play for the final out of the first. So Chien-Ming Wang gives up 2 hits, but the Nationals strand 1, and the double play helps out quite a bit as well. 1 in the books here at RFK. We head to the second on Father's Day with no score. He's head to Philadelphia for a 3-game set at Citizens Bank Ballpark. Tomorrow on Yes, the game starts at 7, the pregame's at 6. Tuesday, My 9, a 7 o'clock start. Then Wednesday, our batting practice show is at 6 o'clock. Our pregame's at 6:30, and game time is right around 7:05. So a 3-night game set against the Philadelphia Phillies, who are reeling right now.
Yeah, here's A-Rod coming to the plate, and there is Alfonso Soriano out there in deep left field. He plays very deep. And talking to your Yankee bullpen coach Joe Kerrigan, he said that they don't have to call Soriano when they want to get his attention out there from the Yankee bullpen. They can just tap him on the shoulder. And there's Joe out there, and one reason he might get many assists because there's some singles hit down the line and people think they could make doubles, and he can throw them out. And he leads Major League Baseball with assists with 10. Everybody thinks that when a ball's hit towards the corner, you know, he has to go over here. He comes up when he's that deep. People are going to think they can make a 2-base hit out of it.
A-Rod takes a pitch high. A-Rod said yesterday, the game, which was over almost 4 hours long, he said the heat on the field was just excruciating. He said after the game, he couldn't get out of bed. He just went back to the hotel, laid in bed all night. But we had miscommunication today.
How so?
I walked up to him, I said, well, what about the Heat? He goes, well, I don't know if they're going to be able to win tonight. I said, not the Miami Heat, the Heat.
Of course, A-Rod from Miami, you know who he's rooting for.
Right. He's a pretty good friend of Pat Riley's. The 1-2. Grounded foul.
A-Rod, after that home run yesterday, has 99 career home runs with the Yankees. The next one will be number 100 in a Yankee uniform.
And he would become the 34th player to have at least 100 home runs with the Yanks.
Now, we just had the promo for the upcoming games as the Yankees are going to Philadelphia to at Citizens Bank Ballpark. And Joe Kerrigan's from Philadelphia. he said to give Michael Kay a message.
Right.
Practice your home run calls. He said it's a bandbox. He said there's going to be plenty of see-yas in Philadelphia.
The 2-2. So A-Rod has worked the count full. I'm sure that Randy Johnson and Brett Myers tomorrow are going to try to stay away from him.
Well, they can try, but so it's hot. The ball's flying.
3-2. Wow. And Alex Rodriguez starts the second with a walk.
He didn't want to give him a fastball.
Hey, today's closed captioning is presented by your New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut Lexus dealer. Here's Posada. Posada said catching yesterday was tough. He said you really do have to force yourself to hydrate, drink as much water as possible. He said, but it does take a lot out of you. Today it's 89 degrees and the humidity is very, very high. So it seems a bit hotter than that.
Yeah, Posada right now just wiping his brow as he steps in, trying to dry out his helmet. Summer is just about officially here. And Posada's had a good series. 4 for 7, home run yesterday.
Checks his swing. For those wondering what the blue wristbands are, and also the little ribbon that's above the logo on each team's uniform, and Randy St. Clair goes out to talk with O'Connor. Obviously it's Father's Day, and that is a reminder about battling prostate cancer. And for every home run hit, there's been matching donations this whole week toward prostate cancer. Michael Milken is right in the middle of it, and all the players gladly don the light blue wristbands.
Yeah, just a reminder for fathers and just men in general, go out and get checked. Doesn't take long, about a 10-minute checkup.
And prostate cancer is the one cancer, or one of the many cancers, that if you detect it early, it can be beaten. And Joe Torre is living proof of that. Foul back. And it really is a simple blood test. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. We're in the top of the second inning, and the Yankees and the Nationals are scoreless. The rubber game of a 3-game interleague set. Pitch is inside.
O'Connor's fastball may be 88, but I think the way he is very deceptive in his delivery. He hides the ball well. I mentioned how he leans back and then delivers it. You know, when you see a lot of motion from a pitcher, there's just too many arms and legs floating around out there. You're looking for the ball, and you really have to pick up where you think the ball is going to come from, like right over his ear there.
On the bus to the ballpark this morning, I was sitting right across the aisle from Don Mattingly, who took out a laptop and was studying video on Mike O'Connor. And then he started to explain what he looks for. He said, well, the one thing you find out, he said, how hard does he throw? He said, so his fastball's from 87 to 89, and you know he's not getting people out with his fastball then. Except that they're looking at it on the inside corner. He said the only time that you will look for a fastball, it's going to be on the inside or outside corner. He can't throw the ball past you.
If he throws it in the middle, you're probably going to clock it. This one is not in the middle. Well spotted over the inside corner for call strike 3. That's something that Posada's going to file away, and he probably won't let happen again this afternoon from Mike O'Connor.
He said then from the video, you're looking at the break on his breaking ball, and when he throws his change. He says, and also you're looking for a release point. He said, I would say the one difficulty first time through is he has a little bit of a funky release. He said once you get past that, then you have the information, you roll from there. I actually asked Donnie, I said, what would you have done if you had a laptop with all the pictures on it when you played? He said, oh, my goodness. He said, what an advantage. He said, the players don't realize because they've always had it. What an incredible advantage this is.
You know, I was talking to Davey Lopes, who was the first base coach for the Nationals the other day, and he was echoing the same things that Don Mattingly said, that nowadays things are actually laid out in front of the players.
Breaking ball is popped up. Harris is there. 2 away.
And he says the game is made easy. Now you look at Tony Pena, who's the first base coach. He's got a stopwatch in his hand, which it tells the base runner, you know, how quickly the pitcher lets go of the ball, and when it hits the catcher's glove, how much time there is. Davey Lopes stole 557 bases in his career, and he said not one first base coach while he was playing had a stopwatch. So he had to put it all in his mind himself and figure out himself whether he could steal second base or not. And he said the first manager ever to really go to stopwatches, it was Steve Burroughs when he was with the Oakland A's, when Davey Lopes was with Oakland. And he said that's when the computers started to come out.
There's Bernie Williams. There's an interesting story in the Daily News today, Kenny, that the Colorado Rockies actually download pitchers and batting tape onto their iPod, their video iPod, so they can all just take it on the plane. They could take it on buses. I mean, you could take it anywhere. The iPod is so small. As baseball continues to grow into the computer era, and it's done okay for the Rockies. They're having a decent season.
Yeah, they're at 500, 2 games out of first place in the National League West, which is certainly a lot better than they have been doing in the past. You know, baseball is you know, some organizations will do something that seems to work out, other organizations are going to copy it.
That one's driven out to right field and deep. Going back is Gee, and he's there, and he puts it away for the final out of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the second. There's no score in D.C. Community. For every Yankees home run hit at home this year, Samsung will donate $1,000 to Joe Torre's Safe at Home Foundation to help end the cycle of domestic violence. You can join the team and support Samsung's Home Run for Kids by visiting fourseasonsofhope.com or joetorre.org, because a little hope can make a big difference. Joe Torre was meeting with the media before the game, and one of the first questions to Joe was, well, how's your pitching today? He goes, it's none of your business.
Let's check out our Bacardi hitter scouting report with Ryan Zimmerman coming to the plate. Now, how about this for a year? You know you're going to get drafted. You're out of the University of Virginia. You've just hit 393 in college. You played 67 games in the minor leagues. You hit 336. You played 20 in the big leagues last year. You hit 397.
Not bad.
Not bad. That's a heck of a year. You know, right organization, right time. If he's drafted by another organization, he might still be in the minor leagues.
393 is actually a good grade point average at Virginia as well. The 1-0, and there's a strike. Zimmerman has a 6-game hitting streak.
There's Hall of Famer Frank Robinson.
Slow roller, third baseline, grabbed by Wang, throw to first, got him. Just got him. Wang very quietly has turned into a very good defensive pitcher.
You know, he almost has to be, because he gets a lot of those toppers off that turbo sinker. And remember that one game he had 9 assists? I think it was against the Orioles. But this one, it's like a swinging bunt. Wang didn't hurry. You know, he was calm about it. That's more or less his demeanor. And there's a throw to first. Close play, but it did look like Zimmerman was out. Zimmerman realizes the ball didn't hit him in the foot. He's going to have to hustle. There's a throw to first. What did you think that time?
I think he's safe.
Oh, you know, you're right.
Dan Iassogna made a bad call. Here's Robert Fick. Grounded foul.
The Yankees caught a break. Zimmerman has the feeling that he was safe. But that wasn't even really that. You know, it's close when you can do that with your camera work, but
but it wasn't that close that you could give Iasonia a pass. That's just a bad call.
You know, Robert Fick getting the start behind the plate. He can play first base, the outfield. Good utility type player. Has always been a good hitter. Frank Robinson says when he comes off the bench, he usually gives you a good at bat.
The 1-1. There's a strike.
And he was part of that yesterday. Come back yesterday, he had a pinch hit single. Formerly of the Tigers.
You know, you see the helmet, and that's the old Washington Senators logo. And what Major League Baseball did when it moved the Nationals here, and it was moved the Expos here, owned by all the other Major League Baseball owners, they had to come up with a name and a logo, so they used the old logo and they came up with the name the Nationals. But the new owners, who should take over in July, could actually change the name if they'd like. Grounded to first. There's two-way the Lerner family in a group of people involving Stan Kasten, longtime front office member of the Braves, have bought the team. It's going to be approved sometime at the end of this month or July, and it'll be up to that consortium whether or not they want to come up with a different name. Although I think the Nationals is a pretty good name.
I think Nationals is fine. I mean, you don't want to call them the Senators again. I mean, Senators have left a couple times. They also have this alternative cap. You can see the DC for District of Columbia.
I like the W hat better. W in script. But strangely, they have not asked me my opinion. So they only have one helmet, as you can tell. They don't have the DC helmet. They just have a W helmet. A 1-0 to Harris. There's a strike.
You know, the strange thing about calling them the Washington Senators, there are no senators from the District of Columbia. They're not represented. And if you've ever seen the license plate from DC, some people have around the license plate taxation without representation. And that's how the country actually started.
I did see those license plates.
Yeah, it says it on the license plate here. You think they might secede? You know, the capital of the country actually secede from the rest of us?
That'd be a story. Count 3-1 to Harris. Harris filling in for Royce Clayton, who hurt himself diving for a single in Friday night's game, hurt his right shoulder. He's okay. He's available to play today. High fly ball, right center, fairly deep. Damon makes the play. A 1-2-3 inning for Chien-Ming Wang and the Yankees. So the Nationals go down in order, and we go to the third. Yankees nothing and the Nationals nothing, right here on Yes. Let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Online DSL, now at a great low price. Randy Johnson, coming off a very good start, will go up against Brett Myers, and our coverage on Yes begins at 6:30. First pitch right around 7:05. Yankees against the Phillies from Citizens Bank Ballpark. We'll get our first look at that ballpark. Swing and a miss. So Wang, in his second big league at bat, is down 0-2. The Hyundai scoreboard has no score.
Wang's only other at bat came in St. Louis. Ooh, he wasn't up there long.
Pitchers actually get a little ticked off at other pitchers when they throw breaking balls.
Or they don't bother to waste a pitch.
Right. So Randy Johnson will be hacking tomorrow.
Well, he's got one home run. Speaking of, how about Chris Benson hitting a home run yesterday off Pedro, or last night?
Little sweet revenge for Benson.
Oh, yeah.
Did not like being traded from the Mets. Damon struck out in the first inning.
Benson, the first Oriole pitcher to hit a home run since 1972. Of course, the DH came in 73, and it was Rourke Harrison who hit one against Cleveland, I think.
Oh, that is a name from the past.
Yeah.
Rorik Harrison. 1-1. And the count 2-1. Damon 5 for 12 in this series. Interleague has been kind to the Yankees. They've played very well in the interleague games over the years. They're 3-2 in interleague play. This year, and they are 95-66 since interleague play began in 1997. And only the A's have a better record. High fly ball, deep right. Guillen going back. He's on the track, now comes back onto the grass. 2 down.
We mentioned the name Rorik Harrison, but he was one of the Dodgers that came to the Orioles when the Orioles traded Frank Robinson to Los Angeles. So there is a connection here today, too.
So one home run hitter for another. Little Jordan-esque approach to the ball by Jose Guillen. And the 1-0 to Cabrera. And we'll see it again with Guillen as he settles underneath and puts it away. That time a tongue-in-cheek. But nothing funny about the Yankees going down in order. 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the third. There's no score. New York State Smokers Quit Line. Call 1-866-NY-QUITS or go to nysmokefree.com for free help and advice. Start your smoke-free life today. Father's Day of 2006. All the bases have that logo. I'm sure they'll be auctioned off at a later date. Hyundai scoreboard. No scores. We head to the bottom of the third. Pitch to Marlon Byrd is low, 1-0. Now, before yesterday's game, in case you missed yesterday's game, it was on Fox 5, a national game. The Yankees designated Aaron Small for assignment. And Small was obviously disappointed, and he said it's the toughest demotion that he has ever had. And it's hard not to root for Aaron Small. Just a great, great kid. Not a kid anymore. He's a veteran. Yankees brought up T.J. Beam. And the reason they had to bring up T.J. Beam is because in Friday's game, Kyle Farnsworth hurt himself. Now, didn't hurt himself enough to go on the DL, and this is what Small said on the demotion. I'm the obvious choice, and I don't blame them for getting rid of me. I wasn't helping the team, and if I'm not helping the team, I'm hurting the team. As Bird fouls it off, and the Yankees actually made another pitching move today. They called up Jose Veras, a reliever with Columbus, and because of that, they sent down Kevin Thompson. So the Yankees are actually going with 13 relievers because their bullpen is so shot right now from overuse that they had to call up another reliever, and they sent down Kevin Thompson. And
going to another ballpark where runs are at a premium. A lot of run scoring in Philadelphia.
Marlon Byrd with a chopper toward Wang, and he will take it himself, one unassisted.
Say one unassisted or Wang unassisted?
Both.
Yeah, either way. Once again, we mentioned a number of opportunities he gets himself. Another sinker, and he'll outrace Bird to the bag.
And you see what's happening there. A-Rod comes over to Wang just to give him a breather. Now, a lot of people are unclear on what designated for assignment means. Well, the Yankees have 10 days. For the first 8 days, what they'll try to do is they'll try to trade Aaron Small. He has about $700,000 left on his contract. And you see what O'Connor's done at the plate, 1 for 19. And if Brian Cashman could make a trade, then he'll do it. Now, the final 2 days of that 10-day period, the Yankees will then try to get him through waivers. Now, if he gets through waivers, and I don't think he will, because I think Aaron Small could start for a lot of teams in the big leagues. If he gets through waivers, then he has the choice, as O'Connor goes down on strikes, of accepting an assignment to Columbus, which he probably would do, or declaring himself a free agent, which I don't think he would do, Kenny, because that means he would forfeit the $700,000 he has owed to him.
Yeah, and then he would have to rely on another team paying him at least that much, and other teams, you know, they probably won't go that route. They're not going to pay all that much.
Here's Soriano. And there's a strike.
Now, we saw where Soriano was playing when Alex Rodriguez came up. Now, Melky Cabrera in left field is not nearly as deep for Soriano, who has he's got great power.
And that's rolled off the foot of Soriano.
In fact, the Yankee outfield in general does not play as deep. Look at all this room behind Melky Cabrera. I mean, you could put a marching band back there.
Wang has thrown 10 pitches this inning, 9 of them strikes. You know, one of the words we hear lately now again is hitterish. And Soriano always looks hitterish. Always looks like something's about to happen.
You know, we mentioned O'Connor's delivery. Of course, Chien-Ming Wang from the windup has an unusual way of delivering the ball, too, and hitters have to get used to it when they haven't seen much of it.
And the 1-2. Grounded foul, still 1-2.
That sinker running in on the hands of the right-handed batters, and you can see Soriano's fouled 2 pitches near his feet. He fouled one off his foot, and another one, that one might have been close. Turbo sinker.
And the 1-2 pitch. Soriano continues to foul it off.
In on his hands again. Soriano has a couple of Yankee records, both set in 2002. He had the most at-bats ever. That's primarily because he doesn't walk much. 696 at-bats. And that year he also set the Yankee record for striking out in a year, 157 times.
1-2. Soriano needs just 5 hits for 1,000. I don't know what Frank Robinson or
that's Damian Jackson to Frank's left.
Yeah, what are they talking about?
And Eddie Rodriguez, the bench coach, to his right.
Maybe they're motioning toward the Yankee dugout, joking around, but it doesn't seem like they're saying anything to an ump. The 1-2. Grounded to short. Jeter gets a nice hop. And that'll do it, as Chien-Ming Wang has retired 7 in a row. Puts down the Nationals in order, 1-2-3. He's got a fan base here in D.C. No score. It's time for the Aflac trivia question. Quiet duck today. What president threw out the first ceremonial first pitch at a Washington Senators game? That's a long time ago. We will find out in the bottom of the 4th. But here in the top of the 4th, Derek Jeter leads off against Mike O'Connor.
I've got 2 in mind. But speaking of presidents, I do know this. Back in 1967, LBJ was the president. And in that year, Frank Howard, we were talking about Frank the other night, actually hit a home run off Tommy John that went through an exit in the upper deck, and they never found the ball. This is in deep left center above the 450. Yeah, it went right out of this exit. There weren't many people here that night, and the ball actually bounded out of the stadium. And they started calling Tommy John LBJ, long ball John.
Ground ball is short, 1 away. There's LBJ.
He threw out a Hubert Humphrey just to his right. throwing out a first pitch here.
The foresight of him to build the Metrodome, amazing. Because that is the name of the Metrodome. Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome in Minnesota.
LBJ, long ball John.
And a ground ball to first by Giambi. 2 away.
Mike O'Connor is got a little string going here. Since he walked A-Rod, he's retired 8 Yankees in a row. The Yankees only have 1 hit and a couple of base runners, one of which was Alex Rodriguez. He drew a walk back in the 2nd.
And a strike. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. There's no score. Top of the 4th inning, and a happy Father's Day to all you dads watching the game today. And it seems that baseball is the perfect sport that brings fathers and sons together. Almost like a passing of the torch, the stories, and playing catch and watching the games together, going to games together. It's the thread in the fabric of the American sports scene.
And here in the District of Columbia, this you take a look at the pregame ceremony. Those are on your left are
9 Nationals.
9 Nationals, and on the right, throwing the ball to them were their dads here at the ballpark. That was a nice gesture.
That was pretty cool. A-Rod reaches out and just dunks it into right center field for a base hit. So a 2-out single for Alex Rodriguez.
I'll tell you what's important about it. I know it's a 2-out single, and we also know that A-Rod's been struggling, but one thing has been the problem for him has been the pitch out over here lately. He's been so inside conscious that he can't get to it. And this pitch is not even a strike. So this would tell you that he's kind of coming out of it, because it was a high changeup. He had time to go get it, but still it was a pitch away. He's been so inside conscious, trying to be so quick, that he kind of leaves the out of the 3rd of the plate open. Well, now he's able to get to it a little better. He did yesterday, and he did it again today.
Now, inside conscious, Kenny, it's batters just hate to get jammed. They don't trust their hands, so they start looking inside.
They start looking inside, and you know the way that they pitch Derek and A-Rod, they try and bust that fastball in on him, particularly A-Rod up and in. That's a tough pitch for a pitcher to get to that area. But you know, you start thinking about it as a hitter. You want to be quick. You want to be quick. But then you give away the outside half of the plate. And I think it's been quite significant the last 2 days. His last 3 hits have been towards center field, including a home run.
That's why sometimes it's miscommunicated when a pitcher throws inside. People might say, well, he's trying to command the inside corner. No, he's trying to command the outside corner. He wants to move you back, have you think inside. Count 3-0 on Posada.
It's like a cat and mouse game. Pitchers moving the ball around, and that's why they say control is the best thing to have as a pitcher, a command of where you want to put the ball. You know, if you can get by throwing 88 miles an hour like O'Connor, you know, nobody has to throw 95 to win all. It helps. But if you could command your fastball, and that'll set up everything else. And right here, O'Connor's kind of lost command of it as he walks up Posada, and the Yankees have a 2-out rally going.
They have a lot of meetings, the Nationals. Randy St. Clair runs out at the drop of a hat. He's their pitching coach, and they meet with these young pitchers a lot. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Here's Robinson Cano. He popped a short in the 2nd. He carries a 15-game hitting streak into this contest. And there's a breaking ball strike.
Good curve. Only one player this month has had a better batting average than Robinson Cano. Now you can see the current hitting streaks. Ichiro at 17, and Ichiro's that player who started today hitting .471 for June, and Robinson Cano was at .452 for the month.
Speaking of Father's Day, Robinson Cano, one of the players on both of the teams that had a dad who played in the major leagues. Jose Cano, pitcher. I think he was in the Astros organization.
Didn't spend much time in the major leagues, but he did get to the show.
Clyde Wright, dad of Jarrett Wright. Gary Ward, who played for the Yankees, and the dad of Darryl Ward. And the Nationals also have a pitcher, Tony Armas, and his dad was an outfielder.
Yeah,
Tony Armas.
Yeah, he was a big home. I think he led the league in home runs one year
for the A's.
Yeah.
Gary Ward was a good hitter.
Yes, he was. Good high fastball hitter. And you just saw Darryl at first base. Darryl was the first, when he was with Pittsburgh, he was the first player to hit a ball in the river beyond the right field wall at Pittsburgh at the new stadium there.
Popped up. Thick. Makes the play. Wasn't easy, but he made it basket catch style for the final out of the fourth. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men are left on base. So the Yankees have not scored over 4. Nationals haven't either. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Well, it's time to give you the Aflac trivia answer. First, we'll tell you about the question. What president threw out the first ceremonial first pitch at a Washington Senators game?
Was it Taft or Coolidge? One of those guys? Yeah, it was Taft.
Taft.
Yeah. 1910.
Now we don't have television footage of Taft, but a couple of
is that Coolidge right there?
Of the presidents who threw out the first pitch. And the latest was George Bush.
Well, the second president there was Hoover.
You know what they used to do, I've heard, Kenny, is when the president would throw out the first pitch, all the players would be around.
And they'd scramble
and they'd scramble for the ball. Can't do that anymore. There's too much money involved.
A lot of injuries. Now, I also heard, and this is a rumor, that the 7th inning stretch actually started when one of the presidents, early presidents, was here. I don't know which one it was, but he happened to get up in between the 7th inning. So that's how the 7th inning stretch started.
Now, I've heard another story about that.
People just left?
No. Ground ball to second base. And Cano retires Vidro. I heard, and this is the one I think a lot of people go with, Father Jasper, who was a father at Manhattan College, saw that the students were getting restless during baseball games. So he had them stand up in the 7th inning and do calisthenics. And Father Jasper is the guy who really started the 7th inning stretch. So you choose whichever story you want to run with. We gave you both of them.
I think down here in D.C. they'll go with the presidents. New York, maybe Father Jasper.
And in Riverdale, they're going with Father Jasper.
Meanwhile, Chien-Ming Wang has been on his game today. There's only been one fly ball out. That was by Brendan Harris to Johnny Damon in the 2nd.
Weak hack there by Guillen. When somebody swings like that, you could tell how much movement there is on the pitch, the late break.
You think you have it lined up, you go to get it, and all of a sudden it's gone. Right here. Oh, no. It was a teasing slider.
And if you joined us late, Mariano Rivera is not available today. thrown too many pitches over the last couple of games. Scott Proctor has volunteered to pitch. Joe Torre wants to stay away from him. Kyle Farnsworth will probably be able to go tomorrow, but not today. So if the Yankees had to have a save situation today, it would be Ron Balone. And Joe's preferred mode of ending the game would be having Chien-Ming Wang on the mound. And also because of the situation with Sean Chacon and Jarrett Wright, and you see 48 pitches for Wang, and Joe said he might push him to a little bit more because of the off day coming up. But with the situation with Wright and Chacon, they can't give the Yankees innings, that he's going to separate the two in the rotation. Broken back ground ball. Jeter. Two-way. And how he's going to do that with the off day, he might put Chien-Ming Wang between them so that you don't burn out the bullpen 2 days in a row having to get 12 outs each day. And you also got a shot of Jarrett Wright in the bullpen. Joe Torre said today's his throw day. We will not have him throw till later because we might have to use him out of the bullpen. So Wright is an available reliever as well.
And that happened earlier when Chien-Ming Wang came out of the bullpen and picked up a save in his first ever relief appearance.
Darrell Ward grounds one right back to Wang, and that'll do it. An easy 1-2-3 inning. 10 in a row for Chien-Ming Wang following the Guillen single in the first. We take it to the fifth, no score. Thank you, Bob. Here in D.C., we have strange hats and we have no score as we head to the fifth inning. On the Chevy scoreboard, it's 0-2-0 for the Yankees, 0-2-1 for the Nats. Bernie Williams will lead off against Mike O'Connor. Crowd starting to get a chant of Bernie Williams. And Bernie Williams responds with a single up the middle. So Bernie is 5 for 12 in this series.
Also 10 for his last 21. Just taking a pitch. You can see the target of Fick. He had to reach it back slightly towards the middle, and that was enough for Bernie to get to it. You don't have to miss by much. Just about 2, 3, maybe 4 inches away from where the target was supposed to be. Maybe up a little bit as well. And Bernie just pounds it back into center field, right where it came from. There's the dive by Harris.
Now Chien-Ming Wang is up there to bunt. And he tries to bunt a high pitch and fouls it away. Now, we told you in the first game on Friday the distinct disadvantage an American League team has playing in the National League ballpark in Interleague because the pitchers aren't used to hitting. And we told you that the Yankees have the second best interleague record, but they're only a .500 team on the road. And the reason for that is the pitchers aren't used to hitting, they're not used to bunting, and they lose their DH, which is a big part of their lineup. You can see.
Yeah, that was a ball. And you know, it's almost like he can't fault them because Chien-Ming Wang during his pro career has probably never batted. He had one at bat last year, and you could see that pitch well above the strike zone. Tough to bunt a high pitch. You know, in the minor leagues, they almost exclusively use the DH everywhere, even the National League organizations.
And he strikes out. For those new to the game, if you bunt a 2-strike pitch foul, it's considered a strikeout.
It's 5th strikeout of the game for O'Connor, and once again on 3 pitches, Wang is gone. Yeah, it's like you don't shoot free throws for a while. I mean, 6 months, whatever. You try and make your first one. It's pretty tough.
I mean, a pitcher in the big leagues, and I think it's ridiculous that National League, minor league teams don't have their pitchers hit. but they play a lot of American League teams down there as well, and they don't want their pitchers to hit.
Well, they're trying to develop hitters.
It'd be like taking me out of the booth and telling me to go bunt. I mean, it's just not fair. They have the same amount of experience hitting pitching as I do. Grounded foul.
I think it's that bad.
No, not that bad. I use that for dramatic effect. The difference is they're athletes.
Yeah. Now, I like the fact that there's a league with a DH and there's a league with no DH.
Broken bat, ground ball back to O'Connor. He'll take the out at first as Bernie advances to second. Why is that, Kenny?
Well, I think it gives fans a chance to see baseball played both ways, you know, with a designated hitter and without it. But what I'd like to see every once in a while in these interleague games, use the National League rules in American League Park.
Absolutely.
And then use the American League rules in a National League Park.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I've always thought that.
Just give the fans a chance in other cities to see how the other league plays it. And then maybe they can form their own opinions as to what they like best.
Pitch to Cabrera is low. Now, some people wonder, well, why wouldn't the National League ever go to the DH? Well, the owners would never agree to it because the DH makes a lot of money. And, well, how come the American League doesn't eliminate the DH? Well, the Players Association wouldn't allow it because the same reason they're not going to lose a high-paying position. So the DH is here to stay in the American League. Melky Cabrera with a line drive to right. Guillen is right there, and that'll do it here in the fifth. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 4.5, we are halfway through, and there's no score in D.C. Every time a Yankees pitcher strikes out an opposing batter, the Tri-State Hyundai dealers will make a donation to the Hope and Heroes Children's Cancer Fund and the Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital of New York Presbyterian. If you would like to contribute along with the Tri-State Hyundai dealers, please call 212-305-1420. Ryan Zimmerman leads off against Wang, and he swings and misses.
Zimmerman's had a good month of June. He came in today hitting .345. He's 0 for 1 on our Chevy scoreboard. You can see the Yankees have out-hit the Nationals by 1, but nobody has been able to dent home plate.
Grounded foul.
Another satisfied customer.
He's going to tell everybody on the McLean football team.
McLean, Virginia. Just across the Potomac.
The 0-2. Do you know that 37 of Wang's 53 pitches today are strikes? He is dealing.
You know, talking about dealing. That's out of Johnny Damon. You know, Bernie Williams and Melky, they could have stayed in the dugout, stayed out of the heat. Damon's caught the only fly ball.
You know, you mentioned the Potomac, Kenny, and I went down there yesterday just to take a look at it. I'll tell you what, if George Washington could throw a silver dollar across the Potomac, he could pitch for any team in the big leagues. Roger Clemens could not throw a silver dollar over that water. Father of our country could bring it. Line drive, base hit to center field. So Zimmerman starts off the fifth with a single.
Third hit for the Nationals, but Potomac is actually a lot longer. Once you get further west,
right,
it's not as far across.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is up towards West Virginia. You know,
you think he drove all the way to West Virginia to make the throw?
I don't think he drove up there. He might have ridden his horse up there, but he didn't drive up there. There was no beltway around Washington in those days.
And Henry Ford had not burst on the scene yet. Here's Robert Fick.
You know what Wang's thinking? Throw this guy to sinker, let him hit a ground ball with Cano or Jeter, and then move along to the next guy.
Gotten one double play today. That was in the first inning. 55 pitches, 38 strikes.
You're looking at the pitcher who has thrown the most ground ball outs in the American League.
Took something off that pitch. 10 grounders today, 1 fly ball, 1 strikeout, and the strikeout was of O'Connor in the third.
Yeah, we're at the time of the game. Not much has been happening from either team, and you might think that one of the managers might press the issue here. They got the leadoff man on. You know, maybe go with a little hit and run. You might not. You might want a ground ball there because one of the infield spots might open up. But with Fick behind on the count, no balls at 1 strike, I don't think you'll see it here. You want it when you know that the pitcher's going to throw a strike.
Lofted to center field. Damon drifts back, 1 away, as Zimmerman will jog back to first.
And the reason why I say that is because sometimes when a pitcher gets ahead on the count 0-1, 0-2, he can really either go for a pitch just out of the zone. That's really tough for a hitter to make contact, where he's trying to tease a hitter to chase a pitch. Second fly ball out.
Big crowd here at RFK. Their 3 biggest crowds since the Nationals became the Nationals at the beginning of last year. A lot of people from New York have made the trip for the weekend. Now, we told you that Harris is filling in for Royce Clayton, who hurt his shoulder diving for a ball on Friday. Yesterday, he underwent an MRI, and everything was fine in the MRI, but he couldn't play yesterday. Today, he's available. The reason he couldn't play, he's one of the many people that could not handle the MRI tube, so they had to sedate him. And since he was sedated, he wasn't sharp enough to play baseball yesterday. He came to the ballpark, but he was out of it.
Of course, when you slide into that tube, you're kind of isolated, and you can't move for about half hour.
Yeah. Although I don't understand why you'd even have to suffer through that. There are open MRIs now.
Yeah.
But maybe there wasn't one available yesterday. Runner goes, swung on a miss, and a bad throw by Posada as Zimmerman will steal second.
Yeah, there's your hit and run I was talking about. They waited for Harris, who swung and missed, but the throw was so far offline that Zimmerman was able to pick up a stolen base, his 5th steal of the year. He's been caught 4 times. Here's the offline throw. Here's your hit and run attempt that Harris was trying to slash it through the hole. It was Cano who was covering.
Not making excuses for Posada, but Harris drifted out over home plate. Posada couldn't really get a good angle to throw to second.
You know, I'm looking at Cano. I wonder if he was a little late getting to the bag, too.
Count 2-1.
Let's watch Cano. Yeah, he's trying to hold his ground as long as possible, because if the ball is hit in his direction, he can recover and then make the play. He won't get the lead runner, but he'll be able at least to get the hitter out.
Ground ball left side. It's a base hit. Zimmerman rounds third. They're sending him home. The throw from Cabrera is not in time. Nationals lead 1-0 on the RBI single from Brendan Harris.
Well, by pressing the issue of the non-hit and run, it didn't work, but the stolen base did. And Zimmerman's at second, and Harris, who is primarily known as a defensive type player, he started at third, second, and short, and really didn't hit this one well, man. Just there's one of those 1,000 hoppers that makes it through the infield, and because it was hit so slowly, it took a long time to get to Cabrera, and Zimmerman could score. He's off and running with the crack of the bat, rounded third, and the throw is going to be late and offline, and he's in with the first run of the ball game.
And Marlon Byrd dribbles one foul off of his foot. Byrd does not like hitting here in RFK. He is 13 for 69 in home games, so that's under 190. "50 years in the game for Frank Robinson. A distinguished Hall of Fame playing career. He has not had nearly the success as a manager. Ironically enough, both of the managers going against each other today started as player managers. Joe Torre was a player manager with the Mets, and Frank Robinson was the first African-American manager when he took over the Indians, and he was still active at that point. The 0-1. Chop towards second. That could be two. There's one. Not in time. Bird's too quick.
Yeah, that might draw a reaction from Larry Boa that Robinson could know, because his flip was offline. And you know you're trying to make the play as quickly as you can, but watch the flip, and it's going to bring Derek Jeter offline. He has to make the flip first. Good footwork by Derek to get the out at second, but because he had to make that 360 move, was not able to get Bird at first base, because the flip is just a little off target. And the Yankees are only able to pick up one. And what that does here, it enables the Nationals to send O'Connor to the plate in this inning.
Right.
See, and he will probably be the third out. But from the Yankees standpoint, you get the double play turn, you get a free out starting the next inning.
A huge difference in the innings. And the count 0-2.
Yeah, Boa is stickler on fundamentals and making plays correctly in the infield, and he knows that O'Connor should be leading off next inning.
The 0-2. Strike three. O'Connor down looking, but the Nationals take the lead. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. Robinson Cano heads toward Larry Boa. We head to the 6th. And the third base coaching box a little bit later than usual, because he wanted to put it across to Cano that he had made a mistake on the flip to Jeter. Larry's going back to Philly, where he was manager for a couple of years and a great player for many years.
All-star shortstop.
We go to the 6th inning. The Yankees, after pounding out 15 hits yesterday, only 3 against the young left-hander Mike O'Connor. Heart of the order, 3, 4, and 5. Jeter, Giambi, and A-Rod. And a strike. Jeter, one of the Yankee hits, a single in the first. And Jeter inside outs the ball down the right field line. It's a base hit. It will go into the corner, and Jeter will have himself a leadoff double here in the 6th.
Pitch was up and out over the plate. And Derek was able to spank his 16th double of the year into the corner. There it is, up and out. Boom. Going that way. See how he keeps his head down and just follows the ball to the barrel of the bat as long as he can. And Guillen makes a good play here in the corner. The ball rattles around anymore. Jeter has the type of speed to leg out a triple. But Guillen, this is his home park, so he should know how the ball's going to bound around it. It almost hopped over the wall for a ground rule double. Gets it back in.
Now with nobody out, Ryan Zimmerman's going to play closer to third base because they don't want to give Jeter that easy stolen bag, which means a lot of the left side of the infield is open for Giambi.
See, this is where Zimmerman was before, and you're right. Giambi now has a major hole to shoot for.
And a strike. The reason they didn't do it before with 2 outs, again, you could score on a wild pitch or whatever, but it's not that important that you make that move toward third base, because if you get the out, you get the out, it's done with. But if he goes to third now, well, you could score on a fly ball, a ground ball, whatever the case may be. They want to keep him anchored there.
Yeah, Giambi's thinking right side to at least get Jeter over to third. Oh, good, another good fastball. Saw Giambi when he struck out in the first inning. He had a swing at a pitch that was well out of the strike zone, and that might tell you how difficult it is for a left-hander to pick up the delivery of Mike O'Connor. Really hides the ball. That front shoulder goes up, the back shoulder goes down, and then it kind of windmills it towards home plate, even from the stretch.
Just missed outside with a breaking ball. A-Rod's on deck. Popped up. That's not going to get the job done. Zimmerman makes the catch, and O'Connor very alertly covered third base because Jeter, who is so baseball bright off the field as well, he was tagging up. He was tagging up, and he was going to go to third.
O'Connor will deliver the pitch. There's the pop-up, and once he realizes that Zimmerman's going to catch it, you can see, as Michael said, he heads over to third to cover the bag. He went to George Washington University, which is an excellent school in this area.
Jeter learned enough at Kalamazoo High to tag up there. Here's Alex Rodriguez, 1 for 1 with a walk. And there's a strike.
A-Rod's base hit gives him a 5-game hitting streak.
So trying to climb out of this malaise. Yesterday a home run. Now he has a tying run at second. Pitch is high.
Generally, if you're in a slump and you're taking extra batting practice, you're working with the Yankee hitting coach Don Mattingly, and prior to the games, each stadium now has batting cages underneath the stands where hitters could practice. Hard work usually pays off. It pays off. Sometimes it takes a little longer than you want it to, but it almost always does as a hitter.
Popped up and fouled away. One 0 Nationals over the Yankees, top of the 6th. Rubber game of this 3-game set. Yankees won on Friday night. Nationals won yesterday. Nationals win yesterday, snapped a 5-game losing streak. 1-2, 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. It gets past Fick, and that allows Jeter to go to third. And that's a big, wild pitch, because now Jeter could score on the out.
Very wild pitch. Now, Robert Fick, this is only his 3rd start of the season behind the plate. He never known for his defense. He's more or less been a pretty good hitter in his career.
He was crossed up, Kenny.
Yeah, that's he was looking for something else. He's looking for the breaking ball and got the fastball. That ball shot right on by him. A-Rod, that was a catchable ball, and it's just a mix-up.
But he held his glove there waiting for the ball to break, and it never did. And then when he saw that it wouldn't, couldn't get to it. And then O'Connor is now tied with Scott Williamson of the Cubs with 7 wild pitches. Just missed inside. Just missed. A-Rod works a walk. And Robinson wants to know, where was it? Here it is. Wow.
It was close, but just a hair inside.
Now, Joe Torre can do some things with A-Rod at first. A-Rod has good speed. There's one out.
And like I said, Fick this is only his third game behind the plate. Randy St. Clair, the pitching coach for the Nationals, on the phone. We might see some stirring out in the bullpen. That's out in right field.
81 pitches for O'Connor to this point. High fly ball. This should get the runner in. Guillen makes the catch. Jeter's tagging. He scores ahead of the throw. Guillen has a very strong arm, but it was deep enough that Jeter could score, and the game is tied at 1.
Guillen caught this ball just in fair territory, and as Michael said, he has a gun for an arm in right field. He unloads an accurate throw. Fick can't come up with it. One hop strike. You can see he was trying to make the tag a little too quickly before the ball actually got there, and that's why he didn't catch it clean. That was a perfect throw, but Jeter, with too much speed, scores the tying run. Here's a look. Jeter did tag up. Here's the throw. That wild pitch did loom large as it comes back to haunt the Nationals.
Here's Cano. And A-Rod goes. Ball is grounded to second. A-Rod had second stolen. And Vidro bobbles but stays with it, and Cano is retired. But the Yankees tie the score. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 big wild pitch, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Hey, tonight on Yes, don't miss an all-new episode of the Emmy-winning Yes's Ultimate Road Trip Season 2 challenges ahead. This week, a little friendly competition sends KJ into a fury. Plus, the crew is honored by visiting a spot very special to Mickey Mantle. Catch an all-new episode of Yes's Ultimate Road Trip tonight at 7:30, only on Yes. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a 1-1 game. Soriano leads off against Wang. And a rocket to A-Rod. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Soriano was right on it. Well hit, but poor direction from his standpoint. It lines right to the Yankee third baseman, Alex Rodriguez. Paul O'Neill said that they never even out, huh?
Never.
You don't get as many bloop hits as you get you hit line drives that somebody catches. I kind of agree with him.
Kitty doesn't.
Did you expect him to?
Pitch to Vidro's a strike. 1-1 game. Been an entertaining series, that's for sure. Yankees came back from a deficit on Friday, 1-7-5, and the Nationals certainly came back from a deficit yesterday, 9-2, and they won 11-9. Fly ball left field. Cabrera. 2 outs.
Sometimes there's some indications from managers. They watch pitchers work. Now, Chien-Ming Wang was exclusively just about ground balls early in the game. Now you saw a line drive, you see it fly a ball, and that might be an indication that sinker maybe doesn't have quite that late movement on it that it had early in the game. He might be getting a little tired. You get a little further into the contest. And now the Nationals all of a sudden have been able to get the ball in the air in successive at-bats.
Guillen's 1 for 2.
I know an out's an out, but there are different types of outs.
This will be Wang's 72nd pitch, and it's grounded to third. Alex Rodriguez across the diamond, and a 1-2-3 inning for Chien-Ming Wang and the Yankees. So we are moving right along. Wang retired the Nationals on 6 pitches. We go to the 7th. Friday, June 30th on Yes, catch the premiere of Yankeeography, David Cone. One of the most feared and crafty pitchers during his time in the majors. Cone's perfect game in pinstripes is one of the most memorable moments in Yankees history. John Sterling hosts the premiere of Yankeeography, David Cone, Friday, June 30th, 11, only on Yes. David Cone is actually coming back next Saturday for Old Timers Day at Yankee Stadium. The IO digital cable scoreboard scoreless as we head to the, not scoreless, 1-1 as we head to the top of the 7th. Bernie Williams takes pitch inside, 1-0.
Koenig should be able to go all 3 innings in that game.
You would think,
yeah.
Right? Ground ball to second. Vidro gobbles it up. 1 away.
Jose Vidro, an all-star with the Expos and on down here with the Nationals now as the franchise relocated to the District of Columbia. But Vidro has had a lot of knee problems over the years, and that's why his range at second isn't what it once used to be.
Joe sending Chien-Ming Wang up to the plate. Any thought of pinch hitting for Wang has to go by the boards because of the Yankee bullpen of late. He wants him to pitch the 7th. He grounds it to Vidro, and there's 2 away. Well, they've announced the attendance here at RFK, 45,157, a sellout, and it's the largest single game crowd for baseball ever here at RFK. I think that the owners of the Nationals are going to be sorry to see the Yankees go.
That's usually the case wherever the Yankees go. They can't play them all the time.
Pitch to Johnny Damon is upstairs. After the game, the Nationals will go to Boston to meet the Red Sox, and the Yankees go on to Philly to meet the Phillies. Well, you have to like what you've seen of Mike O'Connor so far. He doesn't have overpowering stuff, but he certainly knows how to use what he has.
You know, the thing about him and Sean Hill, who we saw in the opening game of the series, the Nationals have John Patterson coming back to the rotation probably next Friday. And one of those 2 young men that we met, Sean Hill or Mike O'Connor, might be coming out of the rotation. John Patterson has missed 50 some odd games with a strained right forearm, and he's one of their better pitchers. And of the 2 that we've seen, O'Connor's been the most effective, the more effective of the 2.
And Hill wasn't awful. Hill's not bad. But just off today, and also the ERAs, you'd have to say that O'Connor probably stays, and he's helped by the fact he's left-handed.
Left-handed, yeah.
(3-1) and a strike. 3-2. The payoff. Popped up, shallow right, Vidro back, and he'll make the play for the final out of the 7th. As the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3 against Mike O'Connor. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch here in D.C. And we head to the bottom of the 7th. Yankees and the Nationals are tied at 1 on Yes. So Chien-Ming Wang will pitch the bottom of the 7th inning. It's been a pitcher's duel, and Chien-Ming Wang has certainly given Joe Torre exactly what he needed. I think we have to say an even stronger word than needed. He desperately wanted, simply because of the fact that the Yankee bullpen has just been ravaged by overuse of late. Hey, tomorrow on Yes, the Yankees and the Phillies face off in an exciting interleague game. Tune in at 6:30 for the Tri-State Quality Ford pregame with Bob Lorenz and Kimberly Jones. Then join Jim Cott, Ken Singleton, and me for all the action starting at 7 when the Yankees take on the Phillies only on Yes.
Looking forward to seeing that new ballpark in Philadelphia. I've driven by it every so often, but I've never been inside of Citizens Bank Ballpark. And a scouting report from Joe Kerrigan says, Michael, be ready. Home run calls aplenty.
I'm ready. And so is Chien-Ming Wang. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 in the Nats order. Ward, Zimmerman, and Fick. And the pitch is low to Ward, 1-0. Grounded foul. Grabbed there by Giambi, but foul. Wang's thrown only 74 pitches, and we're here in the 7th inning. So he has been economical for sure.
Of the 6 innings, he's had 4 1, 2, 3 innings.
And Wang has been able to step up after Yankee losses this year. He's 4-1 in 6 starts immediately following a Yankee loss. Chop towards second. Cano. 1 away. You know, you throw out a stat like that, and Gary Majeski begins to warm for the Nationals, and you know it's almost like thrown away. But that's an important stat for a starting pitcher because that stops losing streaks, Kenny.
Yeah, when you pick up your victories, you know they can be most important because that's what you're looking for from your ace pitcher. He's supposed to be the stopper. But 80% of the time, Chien-Ming Wang's been a stopper, and he's, I guess, regarded as the 3rd on the depth chart with the Yankees starting pitchers.
And I think he's hard charging for second. We'll see how Randy Johnson does tomorrow. Randy Johnson against Brett Myers in the opener in Philly. Chien-Ming Wang's fans travel to Washington. And Zimmerman with the ground ball to Cano. 2 outs. And most of his outs have been on the ground. 15 of the 19 outs on the ground. 2 fly balls and 2 strikeouts.
I think I had a scouting report for Wang in a recent start. It was a night game that he was pitching, and it said, bad night for Worms. It's a bad day for Worms today.
There's Robert Fick. And a strike.
Fick's a good low ball hitter. Hit the last home run at Tiger Stadium. And I just saw where the city of Detroit is going to demolish part of Tiger Stadium, keep the field and parts of the stadium. I just saw that because Tiger Stadium's still sitting there, and they're going to finally demolish it and make a museum, I believe I read.
Ground ball to Cano, so he will make all 3 assists, and that ties a major league record held by many. 7 in the books here in DC. Capital pitching. After 7 strong innings from Mike O'Connor, Frank Robinson decides to make the call to the bullpen, brought to you by the McDonald's Dollar Menu. And that call to the bullpen brings us Gary Majeski. He is the setup man for the Nationals.
Actually, it's been a double switch by Frank Robinson. He's also brought in a new catcher. That's Brian Schneider. There's the record of Majeski for the season. We saw him the other night. He pitched a 1/3 of an inning in the game on Friday and gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, a walk and a strikeout against the Yankees.
So Brian Schneider takes over for Fick, and Fick takes over for Ward at first base.
Schneider will bat in the 9th position. Majeski will bat in Fick's position. That was 6th.
No, Fick is still in the game.
Oh, he is. He moved to first.
Position.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So Cabrera leads off. Majeski's had a very good season until these last 2 games against the Yankees, and He was very hard on himself after a terrible performance on Friday. Didn't fare much better yesterday. Gary Majeski is highly thought of, so much so that he was actually chosen for the U.S. team in the WBC. Melky Cabrera is 0 for 3, and against the Nationals, he's 1 for 13. Average is dipped to 254. Foul back. Now I guess this is the real barometer on a player. Is Melky going to make the adjustments now that pitchers have made the adjustments to him?
How quickly can he do it, too?
2-2. 3-2. And the last thing Majeski wants to do with Cabrera, the number 2 hitter, walk him and then bring up Jeter, Giambi, and A-Rod.
Big gap in right center field. Marlon Byrd in center is playing a few steps towards left center.
Slice foul.
Which sometimes when you come up to the plate and you look to see how the defense is set, and that can give you an indication, well, they're going to try and keep fastball away. Pitch him away, let him hit it that way to the opposite field. Fastball away.
And he keeps fouling it back, which would bode well for Cabrera.
Yeah, make Majeski work. You know, maybe he might miss the strike zone. You pick up your leadoff walk, which is always good when you're on offense in a tight ball game, trying to get something going. You got the 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up.
And he walked him. Exactly what he didn't want to do. He walks Cabrera. Time now for the Yankees in-game box score, sponsored by your Tri-State Lincoln and Mercury dealer. The Yankees have just 4 hits. And the only RBI, Posada's sac fly, drove in Jeter. Jeter's 2 for 3. So he has half the hits. A-Rod's 1 for 1 with 2 walks. And Bernie Williams is 1 for 3.
You saw Frank Robinson attempt a hit and run with Brendan Harris at the plate. Now, it didn't work out, but Zimmerman was able to steal second, eventually came on to score. Joe Torre can try the same thing here. Derek Jeter, very adept at handling the bat, hits the ball well to the opposite field, has 2 hits today. And also what Derek can do, Joe doesn't even have to send a runner. With the hole open on the first base side, with Fick holding the runner, we've seen Derek. That's like Jeterville, that hole between shorts, between second and first, with the man being held on. What would you call it? A Jeterian hit?
Jeterian hit. Well, Randy St. Clair quickly out to the mound and wants to stop this before it begins, really starts rolling. In 8 June appearances, Majeski has a 5.63 ERA. So his ERA is going up. That's 5 earned runs in 8 innings. In May, it was 2.20. So he's pitched all 3 games in this series, and Jeter fouls it back.
Jose Guillen, the right fielder, is playing Jeter like a pull hitter, fairly deep and right. You can see there's not much room between him and the line. You can see that Marlon Byrd is pulled over to the right side of second base. So the big gap for Derek Jeter is in left center field. Plenty of room between Byrd and Alfonso Soriano. And Soriano still way out in left field.
Jeter, a 349 hitter after the 7th inning. And he fights that one off in a pop-up, but Fick can't get there.
Yeah, I'm watching Jeter walk around here after this pitch just ran in on his hands. And remember, he's still smarting from a thumb injury, and I think that might have annoyed him somewhat.
Well, his top hand just came off the bat automatically.
The first knuckle of his thumb.
He struck him out. One away.
That was not a particularly good swing. Not as authoritative as you usually see from Derek Jeter. This is a strike. He might have been looking inside, but he certainly couldn't cover the outside part of the plate. And you can see the top hand come off the bat. That's
a lot quicker than it usually does.
Yeah, that's not good.
Here's Giambi. The Giambi shift is on. Something that you always look for is if Cabrera could steal second and the throw is very late, he could pop up and just go to third because Zimmerman is so close to second base. Brian Snyder is tough to steal on, though. He's a very good catcher.
And watching Majeski work here, he is much quicker to the plate than O'Connor was.
Giambi struck out in the first, grounded to first in the fourth, and popped to third in the sixth. He's 2 for 11 in this series. .92-mile-an-hour fastball, count 1-2. He struck him out. Dialed it up to 94 to strike out Giambi.
Well, whatever Randy St. Clair said to Majeski after the walk to Cabrera, he's come back to strike out Jeter and now Giambi. Fastballs.
Pitched one big league game this year. His record is 0-0. His ERA is 22.50. 22.50. Kyle Snyder, SNYDR, right-handed.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. A walk sandwiched around a single. That one's driven deep to left field. Giving chase is Soriano. He can't get there. It splits the outfielders and goes to the wall. Here comes Cabrera. Here's the throw. Not in time. It's a big RBI double for Alex Rodriguez, and the Yankees take a 2-1 lead.
Alex Rodriguez must have been taking notes because he watched Majeski just blow fastballs by Derek Jeter and then Jason Giambi. And he wasn't going to let it happen to him. There's a heater right in the middle of the plate, and this one is ripped to the gap in left center field. Going to be a two-base hit, but it was Melky Cabrera carrying the mail. Soriano getting the ball back in quickly to Harris. Actually, the Nationals ran this play pretty well with the relay, but it was not in time to get Cabrera, and the Yankees have the lead.
A-Rod's 50th RBI of the season. Here's Posada against Majeski, and the ball gets past Schneider as A-Rod will go to third on the wild pitch.
Well, maybe that double shook up Majeski. Man, that wasn't even close.
Count 2-0 to Posada.
The Nationals haven't been able to retire A-Rod today. 2 for 2 with 2 walks.
There's a strike, and the count 2-1. Posada struck out looking, walked, and then a sac fly. So he's just 0 for 1. Just an official at bat. And the count now levels at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees lead 2-1. And Alex Rodriguez at third.
Yeah, the Yankees have been looking for big hits from A-Rod, and the Yankee fans in particular. And there's one you can write down.
Three and 2. Cano on deck. And now Cano will come to the plate with runners on the corners and 2 outs. And this could be Cano's last chance to extend his hitting streak. He's 0 for 3 today, and he carries a 15-game hitting streak into this at bat.
You know, there are RBIs, and then there's another category for runs batted in, that it's go ahead runs batted in. At time you have driven in the run that gives your team the lead. And if I'm not mistaken, A-Rod's up there among the league leaders in that category.
Largest crowd for baseball in RFK history, chanting "Let's go Yankees." And there's a worm burner, ground ball to short. And Cano is retired. His hitting streak might be over. We'll see how the rest of the game plays out. But the Yankees take the lead. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 walks, and 2 men left to go to the bottom of the 8th. Look at that. Look at the magic. It is time now for the Nationals in-game box score, sponsored by your Tri-State Lincoln and Mercury dealer. There's just 4 hits in there. Soriano with 1, Guillen with 1, Zimmerman with 1, and Brendan Harris drove in the only run for the Nats, an RBI single. All are singles. Michael O'Connor, the pitcher, struck out twice. So not much to cheer about so far today for the Nationals and their fans, as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 5-0 Yanks, 1 4-1 for the Nats. Yankees have a defensive change. They bring in Andy Phillips to take over at first base for Jason Giambi. So the bottom third of the order for Chien-Ming Wang. And the pitch is inside. There's Andy. Harris is flied out to center. That's the F8. And then the RBI single. That's the 1B in the 5th. You know, you always think that things are out of order in your house and you don't realize your next door neighbors might be having problems as well. Yankee fans, and you know, we opened up the show with this about how bad the pitching has been, and especially the starters haven't given them length. Now Chien-Ming Wang is giving the Yankees exactly what they needed today. But the team that they're tied for first place with, the Boston Red Sox, told you the Nationals leave here and go to Boston for a 3-game set, and the Red Sox did not have a starter for tomorrow. And Jarrett Wright begins to, I think he's just throwing now because the time that they would use him, this is his throw day. Anyway, the Red Sox didn't have a starter listed for tomorrow, so they finally listed their starter. They claimed Kyle Snyder off waivers from the Kansas City Royals, and Snyder's going to start against the Nationals with a 22.50 ERA. I think the Red Sox are 13th in the American League in ERA. And that is a costly walk there for Chien-Ming Wang, walking Brendan Harris to lead up the 8th. That's the first walk issued by Wang. And now Ron Guidry will go out and talk to his right-hander. And right now, the only one warming in the Yankee bullpen is Jared Wright, so maybe they could use him here in the 8th inning. Hey, Yankee fans, always traveling and missing games? Watch games online live whenever you're away from New York, exclusively from MLB.tv. Yankees.com has more live games than anyone else. Yankees.com, where baseball is always on and blackout restrictions, of course, apply. You can be part of the Yankees universe, as that guy's T-shirt just read. Let's see if they have Bird bunt. A-Rod's expecting it. He's in at third.
Bird does not have a successful sacrifice this year.
And now Mike Myers is up alongside Jared Wright.
You got a left-hander on deck and Brian Schneider.
Bird bunts. Posada thought about second. He'll make the out at first. So the sacrifice successful. You score at 2-4.
Sacrifice 2-4. 2-4.
Cano covering at first.
Harris has good speed, so once he saw the ball hit the ground, he took off. If Bird wasn't sure whether there's going to be a fair ball or not. Usually, with a ball that does not reach the grass, the catcher does have a play at second, but Harris has good speed, and he had a good read on that ball hitting the ground. Once he saw it hit the ground, he didn't care whether it's fair or foul. He started out for second base, and that's why Posada did not have a play at second.
So here's Brian Schneider. Came into the game in the top of the 8th inning when they brought in Majeski, and they moved Fick to first. So Schneider, in part of the double switch, comes up here in a big situation. And a strike.
Randy St. Clair checking on the bullpen situation out there for the Nationals, and somebody is moving around, going to get up and start throwing.
Schneider lost one to left field. Cabrera will make the play. 2 away.
It used to be when Melky was out in left field, and when he first came up last year and he had his problems and struggled, and even this year, every time the ball was hit to him, you kind of had your fingers crossed. But now that feeling is going away. He's become more and more adept and comfortable in the outfield. That's right. You got Melk. The Yankees have Milk.
Now a big spot in the game. Soriano, the best run producer on the Nationals. He singled in the first, grounded to short in the third, and lined out to A-Rod in the sixth.
Soriano leads the Nationals in intentional base on balls, as you might expect. He's got 6 of them, but the Yankees are going after him. I'm sorry, he does not lead it. It's Brian Schneider has 7 of them.
A little dangerous, a little more dangerous to walk Soriano because you've got Vidro on deck, who's a good hitter. Schneider's a little bit lower in the order.
You saw Posada go out and talk to Wang, though, prior to this at bat. Ooh, good changeup. Whew. That was the best one of the day.
And on his 90th pitch.
By any pitcher. This is the best changeup of the day. Looking for the express and got the local.
Outside, 1-2.
Yankee fans remember that the slider down and away is the pitch that usually gets Soriano out. The problem for Wang is the slider's probably his 3rd best pitch, and he might hang it. And you certainly don't want to do that to a hitter of the Soriano's capabilities. You see how close he stands to the plate. See, he tried to get it out there.
Now he wants to make it work on 2-2. The tying runs at second base, Brendan Harris, who has good speed. Soriano sporting 49 RBIs at the plate. Rumored to be on the trade block. A lot of teams would like to add a bat like Soriano's. Scouts watching every swing. And he's gone from 0-2 to 3-2.
Well, Yankee fans remember that Soriano's not a very patient hitter. He can only take so many in a row. He's got to swing the bat. Doesn't walk very often. If this is close, he's going to be hacking. And really, I don't think it has to be all that close. It's just within reach, and he'll go for it.
3-2. He walks. Certainly not an intentional walk. And I think they were going after him. It was 0-2, but I don't think that they're crushed that they walked him.
Yeah, once he got to 0-2, then he tried to be very careful. There's a good sinking fastball inside for a strike. Here's that great changeup 0-2, and now he begins to try and work him over. He wouldn't chase that. Ball and 2 strikes. Slider low and away. He wouldn't go for that. 2-2. Sinker in. Full count. Looked like a slider that he just didn't get on top of, and that was ball 4.
Here's Vidro. First and second, 2 outs. Pitch outside, 1-0. Double play, ground ball to second, and a fly ball to left. Served into left field, giving Chase Cabrera on the run. He makes the play. Jose Vidro bidding for an extra base hit that would have given the Nationals the lead. But Cabrera got a good jump and ran it down, taking away an extra base hit and a couple of ribbies. Chien-Ming Wang loves what he sees. We go to the 9th, 2-1 Yankees.
Well, Melky Cabrera with an excellent catch. We talked about how he seems to be more comfortable in the outfield, and the fans are more comfortable with him being out there as he makes a nice running catch. That probably would have been 2 runs for the Nationals, and the lead is Melky Cabrera. That's right. The Yankees got Melk. He makes the play.
And high fives all around. Bernie Williams against Majeski, grounds 1 to second. 1 away, and every time Melky makes a great play in the outfield, you're going to remember this.
This is Manny Ramirez, who thought he had tied a ball game until Melky. Can't believe it. Who is that guy?
And a defensive curtain call. And how about this?
Yeah.
They're going to have Chien-Ming Wang bat, which means that he's going to pitch the 9th inning. Ron Vallone is the closer today because Mariano, Scott Proctor, and Kyle Farnsworth are not available.
This kind of reminds you of the old days. You're going to let the starting pitcher close the game himself.
Somewhere as he's driving to Philadelphia, Kitty is smiling. Chien-Ming Wang is 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a ground ball to second, the 2-0. There's a strike.
You know, the other day I played at Yogi Berra's golf tournament in Montclair, New Jersey. And this year, Bob Gibson was there, the great Hall of Fame right-hander of St. Louis Cardinals. And I was thinking about a game in which he pitched against, when I was with Montreal, he pitched a game in which he shut us out 3-0 and hit 2 home runs. So if Wong can somehow go deep here.
He's worked the count full.
Yes, he has. He might get a good pitch to hit. Ooh, contact.
Healthy cut there by Wong.
Kind of an unusual swing. He's more like chopping at it than. Just hoping he didn't hurt himself.
Swings and misses for the second out.
You know, I think all things considered, the Yankees would rather have him back sitting in the dugout, resting, getting ready for the bottom of the ninth inning. They didn't want him to get on base.
Here's Johnny Damon, strike out in the first, fly to right in the third, grounded back to the mound on the fifth, and then popped the second in the seventh. That's the P4. So 4 hits yesterday, 0 for 4 today. The vagaries of baseball as Damon fouls it back.
I think that's one thing that makes the game so interesting. It's played out, you know, not on a daily basis, but more than any other sport. And each game is different. I mean, each pitch is different. Each at bat is different.
And it all really starts with the pitcher. And that's why it's amazing when a team could get a long winning streak going, because every day there's a new pitcher. In basketball, you can inflict your physical prowess upon somebody. Same thing in football. But in baseball, the pitcher dictates the action. Randy Johnson will be pitching tomorrow as the Yankees go to Philly. We'll have that game at 7 o'clock on Yes, 6:30 pregame show.
That guy caught a piece of the home plate umpire Lance Barksdale's mask. He's going to check it out before we continue here. There's Damon spoiling this pitch. Looked like a high move. Ooh, man. Direct hit.
How about Brian Snyder? You look at him from the center field camera, almost like a video game player. Those mirrored sunglasses and the funky helmet.
That was close. That fastball had some movement back towards the corner, but Johnny Damon using his good eye. He's smiling. Didn't get caught. Look at, you know,
Frank's not smiling.
No, he's not.
Driven to right field, but right there is Guillen, and that's going to do it. So the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. Last licks for the Nationals coming up in the bottom of the ninth. They'll do it against Chien-Ming Wang. By Charles Schwab. Why should market performance dictate your performance? Talk to Chuck. Charles Schwab. Beautiful tourist city or district here in the United States, and a lot of the tourists are here at RFK watching a dandy pitchers duel. Joe Torre has gotten exactly what he wanted out of Chien-Ming Wang. Close to 9 innings. Let's see if he can get 9. Yankees trying to hold on to a 2-1 lead. Jose Guillen against Chien-Ming Wang. There's a strike, and that was Wang's 97th pitch of the afternoon. And we go back to what we told you right at the start of the game. Joe Torre said my closer is Ron Vallone, but I'd like my closer to be Chien-Ming Wang. He's getting exactly what he hoped for. And there's a strike. New right fielder for the Yankees. It's Bubba Crosby taking over for Bernie Williams.
And if you're wondering, the most pitches that Chien-Ming Wang has thrown in a game this year, that came on June 6th at the stadium against Boston. He threw 109 in 7 innings. Oh, that was close.
And Joe said that he would push Wang a little bit more than he normally would because he has an off day coming up on Thursday.
Watch the glove of Posada. He had to move it some, but not all that much.
Now, Joe Torre said that Vallone would close, but that Proctor said that I could pitch. And Joe looked at it skeptically. 100 pitches for Wang, 65 strikes. Well, Proctor is now up in the bullpen alongside Mike Myers. So if Wang loses Guillen, Joe might go to the bullpen. grounded foul. There's a pinch hitter on deck. Remember, the pitcher is due up in the cleanup spot because of a double switch, and the pinch hitter is going to be pinch hitter extraordinaire Marlon Anderson. The 2-2. Wang trying to go 8-2. Yankees trying to take the series 2-1. And the 2-2. Chopped over the mound, charging Cano. Fields fires, got him, one away. You have to keep it here after the last out for the Nissan postgame with Bob Lorenz and Kimberly Jones, featuring detailed analysis of today's game, interviews with players, plus scores and highlights from around baseball. Your one-stop shopping for your postgame, the Nissan postgame immediately following the game, only on Yes. Here's Marlon Anderson. Larry Boa, who knows Anderson well from his Philadelphia days, directing the infielders. Foul back.
Anderson's had 35 pinch hit appearances this year. This is what he's done in his career, and that's a pretty good batting average for pinch hitting. 287 with 7 pinch hit homers. This year he is 7 for 35, so he's not quite as good as he has been in the past. He's driven in 1 run off the bench. He and Darrell Ward have by far got the most pinch hit at bats. Ward has 24 of them.
The 0-1.
But in the National League, you got to be ready at any moment when you're on the bench, because you can be called upon to pinch hit in early in the games, middle of the games, and in this case, late in ball games.
The 1-1. Grounded through for a base hit, a pinch hit single for Marlon Anderson. So the tying run is on. And let's see if Torrey goes to the bullpen. He could also look at it, hey, he got the ground ball, it just wasn't at an infield.
Yeah, I think that's what Joe's thinking is that, you know, the Yankees with the first out here, the one pitch of the game being over. If you get Zimmerman to hit a ground ball at one of the infielders, they might be able to turn a double play and the game's over.
It is tough to manage a game when you're 2 closers. Well, the main guy and then the guy that you use when he's not available, they're both not available. So Joe managing this game completely in a different manner than he would on any other day. Proctor and Myers both watching. Here's Zimmerman. Mariano's pitched the last couple of days, thrown too many pitches. On Friday, Kyle Farnsworth got back spasms. He's feeling better, will probably be available tomorrow, not available today. And if they use Proctor, they would be gambling because he has been used just too much. Driven deep to left. There it goes. See ya. Ball game over. A game-winning walk-off 2-run home run for Ryan Zimmerman, and the Nationals take the game 3-2. Heartbreaking loss for the Yankees, and Chien-Ming Wang, who pitched brilliantly, and they had to extend him more than they would want to because they simply do not have a bullpen today. And Joe Torre telling Wang, hey, listen, you pitch great. And Kenny, that was a loss of circumstance, not of being a poor pitcher.
You know, that's the first time we've ever seen any emotion from Chien-Ming Wang. I've never seen him do anything like that. Throw a glove in anger or that shows you how much he's upset as to what has happened here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Frank Robinson, of course, with his young third baseman Ryan Zimmerman, a rookie, It's a 2-run home run to win the ball game. Chien-Ming Wang, difficult to hit home runs against him. It looked like a fastball. It was up. The target's in. Yeah, it was up. And that's an indication he was getting tired because of all the ground ball outs today. That was one of the few fastballs that was up in the zone as Zimmerman celebrates his first home run this month. He hasn't hit one this month. That's his 10th of the year. He's gone a number of games without hitting one, but he hit one in the right spot for the Nationals to win the ball game. Cabrera made a good catch last inning. He can't catch up with this one.
And that was the bullpen's role in this game, fielding that walk-off home run by the rookie, Ryan Zimmerman, which came on the 107th pitch by Chien-Ming Wang. Rookie game-winning home run, you fly into home plate. What a difference in emotion as the Nationals show exhilaration.
各位观众，真的是非常精彩、刺激，而且也令人心碎的一场比赛。我记得之前王建民有好几场比赛投完了8局，有机会投第9局，在领先的情况下，Joe Torre 把他给换下去，换上救援投手。很多的球迷都在问，为什么不给王建民完投机会呢？王建民投得这么好，有机会完投，为什么不让他完投呢？完投胜不是一个非常非常重要的记录吗？那看了这场比赛以后，你现在知道为什么Joe Torre之前不愿意让先发投手来完投了，尤其要好好保护先发投手。在先发投手之前投得非常出色的时候，如果你让他有吃败仗机会的话，万一出现，对这个投手的打击是非常大的。那今天这场比赛就证明了，因为救援投手没有办法上来支援，Joe Torre没有办法找到合适的救援投手，让王建民撑下去，已经投了100球以上的王建民，最后真的是力竭了。一个偏高的球被 Zimmerman 打成了一个再见全垒打。所以不但王建民的胜投不见，而且王建民还苦吞了今年球季的第3败。当然这一败不是他球技上的问题，实在是他的队友前2场比赛用了太多的救援投手，没有人上来可以支援所造成的一个结果，非常可惜。但是王建民还是一个非常优秀今天投得非常出色的一场比赛，相信会在洋基队的教练团里面记下非常深刻的一笔。那今天转播工作就在这里暂时告一个段落。我们预告一下，王建民下一场直播出赛预定是礼拜6早上的7点，这是预定，按照正常4天的休息。如果说确定以后，我们也会在公司的网站马上为大家做这个报告。那另外也不要忘了，每周1到周5在公视晚间的12点，在 Demo 台的晚间9点有这个大联盟战绩的快报。那王建民今天总共投了8又1/3局，被打6支安打，包括1发全垒打，失掉3分的自责分，苦吞今年球季的第3败，总共投了107球，71个好球，自得分率是4.07，是非常优秀的一场的投球。Joe Torre绝对不会忘记的。谢谢你的收看，我是苑宁文，我们下次再会。